Hey, so it's like noon and I'm just now starting a video, but welcome back to the channel. The reason it's noon is because I spent pretty much all morning running around gathering parts for today's episode. Is it an episode? Webisode? Vlog? I don't know what today really is, but we are diving back in to working on the TJ Rock Roller project. If you guys have noticed in the background some of my videos, there has been a winch plate laying on the front of my bumper. My buddy Cody over at the Ultra YJ, check him out on Instagram and YouTube. Cody had this winch plate laying around and he's like, hey, do you want this for your Jeep? And I was like, I don't know if I can use it. But the more I look at it, the more I want that front little fairlead to weld onto my bumper since it doesn't just bolt right on. So he was like, if you want it, you can have it. So today's video, we are going to be fabricating that fairlead onto the front of my Motobilt bumper. We're going to be chopping it off, cleaning it up, welding it on. I have a little bit of icing for the cake after that is on and painted. And the best part of this video is I had a subscriber reach out to me. He happened to notice in the background of one of my videos, my grinder was laying on the bench and I said something about it being broken. And he was like, bro, is that grinder broke? Did you get a new one? And I said, yeah, I bought one. And he's like, man, I was gonna send you one. Do you have two? To be a fabricator, you gotta have at least 2 grinders in the shop. So my buddy Evan Doucet hooked it up. He went ahead and ordered a grinder, a set of flap wheels, I think some grinding discs or cutoff discs to use in the shop to show his support to the channel. So huge shout out to Evan. Thank you, Evan. It means a lot. I think it's actually really rad that people believe in this channel, I guess would be the term, but people want to help out my little projects that go on here inside the garage. All right, let's open this up. So, I already knew what he got me, but it is awesome to see it here. We got a brand new DeWalt grinder for the shop. We got, he said he was sending abrasives, and they are benchmark abrasives. I believe this is the flap wheel kit, and then this last box is going to be benchmark again, and it is their cutoff wheel kit. So, let's put these things to the test. Thanks. All right, before we jump into a time lapse, let me just give you a quick little method of madness and what you're about to see. Went ahead and marked a straight line the whole way down this winch plate, and I put the line right above that little bend so we end up with the most usable amount of metal as possible. I went ahead and unpackaged the grinder and I threw the benchmark abrasives on it. Holy shit, Evan, I don't know what I'm gonna do with 50 cutoff wheels, but we are gonna use them over time. Quick little tool review though. I'm a Milwaukee guy. I will say I like the DeWalt grinder more for cutoff wheels. The flap wheel doesn't really matter, but something about this side trigger on a cutoff wheel feels so much safer on the DeWalt than the one on top of the Milwaukee. So quick little tool review. Let's get this project going. We got some cutting to do. cleaned up now. I'm sure it's nice and hot, but sits pretty flush. Now, let me show you the next issue we're gonna run into on my bumper with these cutouts for where the D-ring goes. Let's show you. So, if we go to put this on here, I already know it's not gonna fit because these D-ring mounts don't have the right cutout to fit. So we're gonna have to notch that out just a wee little bit, actually a decent amount, to go ahead and drop that down onto the bumper. Went ahead and threw this back on. I grabbed that Factor 55 mount and bolted it on, and you can see on this far side we have way too big of a gap, and that looks horrendous. So we're gonna end up chopping some of this out and sliding that in on both sides, and we should be able to make this work. So with a little bit of movie magic, the next time you see this, it is going to be looking nice and back together, go. Boom. And voila. So I went ahead and did that all off camera real quick, got that gap all nice and tightened up, and I shortened it down just a little bit. What I ended up doing was cutting the ears off. Really brought it way out that way, trimmed it down, slid it in, but regardless, that is now workable. So the next thing is cleaning up this bumper and getting it welded on. Here it is, all welded together. I was able to go ahead, I'll have to clean these up, but I was able to get some pretty decent welds down through here. I haven't welded in forever, so I was a little shaky, but the quality of the welds I'm pretty happy with. I don't think this thing's going anywhere. So we'll get that cleaned up and we'll get some paint on it, and we'll go ahead and throw that Factor 55 mount back on the front. All right, so the bumper is actually back on the Jeep, but I'm not gonna, well, you guys are gonna see it here in the next part anyway. So we're now on to the second part of this video, and that is going to be building a grille hoop for the front of the Jeep. Pretty much just to protect the radiator in case of a rollover. I kind of have an idea of how I wanna build it, and here is my diagram. So imagine two frame rails, and then there's my little crossbar, but since I narrowed the front of my frame, the grille lines basically end up outside the frame rails. So this grille hoop, in theory, is gonna have to land on the outside of both of the frame rails. Now, I am definitely no professional when it comes to bending tube. I've done it a time or two, but I think we'll be able to figure this out. The bend should be simple. It's just going to be getting the right measurements, basically, with the right luck. But the plan is to go ahead, turn this around. You guys will see it anyway. Surprise, that's back on, but don't focus on that. We'll do a big reveal at the end. But the idea here is that that grille hoop is gonna come up here, follow the hood line, come back around. But since it's narrowed, we need to land on the frame rail down here, and this bumper will probably get notched just enough that we have room to keep the grille on there. So let me do some measuring, figure out where the bend starts, and we'll go ahead and start playing around with that DOM and the bender. So I went ahead and pulled the grill off after I bent this. I was having too much trouble trying to hold everything together. So I went ahead and got this one bent. This one ended up right around 125 degrees is what I bent it to, and then it kicked back obviously a little bit. But in theory, if I go ahead and chop this, that frame rail lands in there. And I have no real set method other than I believe this bend ended right on that oil mark. So I found center. And then I measured over, that's 15 inches. So in theory, if I go 15 inches to this one, which is right there, 4 inches back is where I put my mark. The bend should start there to allow it to loop back down. That is what I'm going with. And hopefully that takes care of it. So to be determined. As you can tell, that surprisingly worked out pretty good. The only thing we got to figure out yet is where the frame is going to meet up in here. And worst case, I may just have to add a degree or two to each side. But for the first time bending a double bend in one piece, happy with it. All right, so my camera fell over, so you guys did not just get to see me clean up the frame rails. The tube is pretty much all done. I'm happy with the fitment so far. Pretty much now I need to go ahead and close the hood and throw, well, the grill's already on, close the hood, throw the bumper on, and we're gonna lay that bar in between the frame rails, get an idea of exactly where it's gonna land, and then we'll go ahead and tack it into place. So let's keep this thing going. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Everything is coming along perfect, beautiful. What you guys just saw in that last clip was me painting the front end. Everything was welded, got it all taken care of, and quick, while it was drying off camera, I threw it all back together for the grand reveal. So here it is. There it is, the Jeep. Why do I always do this? All right, so there it is. There it is, guys. The Jeep is all back together and the front end is wrapped up. Let me show you one last time. We went ahead and fabricated our own radiator grill hoop. We added a fairlead onto the front of the Jeep. The only thing left is mounting a winch on there, changing out the headlights, and that's about it. I still got to bolt the bumper on, but I'm going to do that off camera on another day. I don't think drilling holes is all that exciting, but just know next time you see the Jeep, that bumper will be completely secured. So this video went well. It feels good to be back and working on the Jeep, and I hope you guys are excited to see Jeep content back on the channel, my Jeep specifically. We're just going to keep plugging away at this thing. This video is over. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the front end of the Jeep. Does it look good? What would have you done differently? Leave a big thumbs up, because I don't know, one time we almost got to like 70 likes, and that's pretty rad. So if we can get this one close to 100, maybe I'll be more motivated to go ahead and make content faster and more frequent. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time. I'm out.